3m squared plus 14m plus 8. Okay, it's getting a little harder now. Put our parentheses in there. Put our variables in there. Put our signs in there, right? Plus and plus. So far, so good. Put our factor tables in there. 3, we look at our factor for the leading term and our factors for the ending term. Let's do a factor table for the 3. Okay, factors of 3 are what? There's only one set. It's always 1, it always starts with 1 and the number. Okay? Factors of 8. 1 and 8, right? And what else? 2 and 4. Okay. One thing that will help to narrow down the trial and error is to start with the set of factors that's the easier set of factors. In other words, a set of factors where there's only one set of factors or where there's doubles, like 2 and 2 or 3 and 3 and so on. Well, which set of factors is the easiest one to start with? Factors of 3 or factors of 8? Factors of 3, right? There's only one set of factors for 3. I like to put the 3 and 1 like that first. Because now what you need to do is to take the 3 times some factor of 8 will get you closest. What 3 times which factor of 8 will get you closest to 14? And this helps, doing it this way helps to narrow down your trial and error. You may have a little bit more trial and error than the others, but not, if you do it this way, you won't have as much. Well, let's see. We've got 3 times 1, or 3 times 8, or 3 times 2, or 3 times 4. Which number will get us 3 times that number will get us closest to 14? Yeah, 3 times 4 is 12, right? So if you use 4, you got to use 2 along with it because they go together. Well, okay, so 3 times 4, there's 4 there, right? So if you put 4, you got to put 2 with it too. You got to put 2 in there also. Well, 3 times 4, that's 12m, positive 12m. And then 2 times m, that's plus 2m. And that gives us our plus 14m. And it checks. Okay? So doing it this way could really reduce the amount of trial and error and reduce your frustration level too. Alright? Because that, sometimes students can kind of go through it and it seems like they've gone through everything, but maybe not always. Okay, so we checked it, and that's our answer. Questions with that? Okay. I'd like for you guys to try the next one and see how we do with that. Try this. 9y squared minus 18y plus 8. Okay? You're going to put your parentheses, put your y's, put your signs, put your factor tables up there. Alright, go ahead and try that. Want to see, when you got a leading term greater than 1, you always want to see if you have a greatest common factor. Do we? We don't, right? But it's always good to check that. Signs are going to be minus and minus, right? All right, I'll give you a little hint here. Now this one has 2 sets of factors. 2 sets and 2 sets of factors, right? But we can still determine one of them is a little bit easier to start with than the other. What would be the easier of the 2 to start with? Factors of 9 or factors of 8? 9, right, because it's got doubles, right? We can eliminate pretty quickly if 3 and 3 is either a good one or not. So, yeah, I would start with 3 and 3. If I don't have a clue where to start, that's where I would start. Okay? Alright, so now we want to look at our first term and our last term. And are we going to add or subtract?
Subtract.
Well, or this add, right? We're going to add. We need 3 times something, and that's going to add with 3 times whatever this one here is, right? Well, let's see. 3 times what will get us close to 18? 1 and 8 or 2 and 4? 2 and 4, right? Because 3 times 4 is 12. So that's pretty close. If we use 3 times 8, that's 24. That's way past, right? So we know 8's not going to work. So we have, if we're going to use 4, we've got to use 2 also. Well, let's see if this checks. 3 times 4, that's negative 12y. And 2 times 3, that's a negative 6y. And that gives us our negative 18y. And that checks. Okay, so even with a problem like this, you can really narrow down your trial and error if you do it this way. Questions?